Well, former Arkansas governor and 2024 presidential candidate Asa Hutchinson joins us now. Governor, thank you for being here. You're actually one of the rare 2024 GOP contenders who have said that you believe that Mr. Trump's actions has disqualified him from being president again. Do you think that this case will persuade any additional Republican voters to agree with you? Because so far, that hasn't gotten a lot of traction out there with the Republican base.
Well, I hope so, and I hope that the voters will evaluate this fairly. Whenever you look at what's happened on January 6th, I said that what happened on that date should disqualify Donald Trump from being president again. And I said that over a year ago, and now, 1 year later, you actually have him indicted on these charges, and he's going to be able to stand trial. Obviously, he has a presumption of innocence. He's going to have a defense to be presented. But it's clear to me, under the facts that we know, that he should not be our commander-in-chief in the way that he's handled national security documents. He should not be our commander-in-chief because he disrupted the lawful transfer of power that's a hallmark of our democracy. And so candidates need to be clear on this. It is a defining moment for the Republican Party. Are we going to be a party of the rule of law and the strength of our legal system? Or are we going to undermine it in our arguments and in our blind support of Donald Trump?
Governor Hutchinson is joining us from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, out on the campaign trail. You have been critical of him. Congressman Will Hurd of Texas, one of your opponents, has been critical of him. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie has been critical of him. Former Vice President Mike Pence, with all due respect, can't seem to figure out whether he's being critical or supportive of him. It seems to depend on the issue and the day. Why don't you think more of the Republican field stands with you in agreement that he's disqualified and shouldn't be running and leading the party?
It's because of his high poll numbers, and they see that, and they see the support that he has, and so they're trying to figure out another way to manage this campaign. But this is too important of an issue for our democracy, for the rule of law, for accountability, that candidates have to be clear. This is not a time to mince words. It's not a time to pull punches. And I want to be clear on this. And so as we go further into the campaign and the first votes will be cast in Iowa 6 months from now, I have confidence that the voters are going to look at this and say, this is a serious time. Who will be our commander-in-chief? Who could win again in 2024? And the chaos that surrounds Donald Trump is not what we need in our party or our country.
I hear you, Governor, but right now in all the national polls and even in the polls in those essential primary states, the former president is by far and away the front runner. Your arguments do not seem to be taking any footholding with Republican voters, and critics, such as yourself, have said that it may mean that you lose the general election. Why is it that you think that Republican primary voters at this point just seem to continue to gravitate towards the former president, even as more charges are levied?
Well, I think there's two reasons. One, they see unfairness in how other cases have been handled by the Department of Justice. And of course, that message is driven and reinforced by Donald Trump. So that perception of unfairness is part of the reason. Secondly, they have a high level of loyalty to the former president, Donald Trump. Many of us supported him before, but they have been misled. And the facts are that he knew that he had lost the election, and yet he brought his supporters there anyway and misled them. And he continues to do so by raising money and using it for legal fees. And so it's important to speak on this, but I think those are the two reasons that there is a skepticism about the charges. There is a loyalty that's natural to Donald Trump, and we'll see how this progresses over time. But I'm going to Iowa this evening, and my perception in Iowa is that they're wide open to an alternative, wide open to someone that can help us win in 2024. So it's going to be competitive. We have 6 months before votes are cast, and these facts are going to develop. I just hope everybody pays attention to the facts, reevaluates this, and comes to a different conclusion than they are today.
Governor, how close are you to getting the 40,000 donors you need to make the debate stage later this month?
I've been very encouraged. We've grown in over 10,000 donors in the last 2 weeks. So that's a huge step up. It's ASA 2024.
Go ahead, Asa. Well, we'll let you get that
sorry.
in.
Sure, it's asa2024.com.
But
and
are you
counts.
Dozens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands away from getting that 40,000 mark?
I think we're close to halfway there. We've got about 3 weeks left, so we've got some work to do. We need everybody's support if you want me on the debate stage, and I hope you do.
So you need more than 20,000 donors still, and you've got about 3 weeks to do it.
Those are round numbers. I don't know I have the exact numbers today, but we've been growing by 1,000 a day, and so we're very pleased with that. Have a lot of momentum. We're going to get there. We're doing a lot of work to get there,